Hey guys, what's going on? Chris here with Shughead Gaming, bringing you my very late review for Audica. This is a review that should have happened about 6 months ago, but due to my little hiatus, you get it now. I want to work through my back catalog, so here you go. Audica is developed by Harmonix Music Systems. Audica is now available on PSVR, Index, Vive, Rift, Windows Mixed Reality, and Quest. Game retails for an estimated price of $30. Of course, that depends on your region and platform. Audica is a VR rhythm shooter that arms you with a pair of rhythm blasters. You shoot and smash targets to the beat of a soundtrack that features songs from some of the world's most popular artists. The better your timing and accuracy, the better your score. Harmonix basically invented the music rhythm genre, starting with frequency and then the more refined Amplitude on the PS2, then putting plastic toys in all our homes with the introduction of the Guitar Hero series, a legacy that would later be redefined with the Rock Band series. As such, I always waited to see what their answer would be to the Beat Saber craze. Let's turn to this and see if Harmonix takes back the music rhythm game crown with Audica. As always guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button. It not only helps out the channel, but VR gaming as a whole. And if you'd like to see more VR content from me, please consider subscribing. And for video updates, hit that bell icon. And of course, for more VR info, check Shughead Gaming out on Twitter and Facebook. Let's kick things off with a look at graphics. Audica pretty much delivers on what you would expect from a VR rhythm game post Beat Saber, as that really is the benchmark. Visuals here are expectedly sharp in the headset while retaining a silky smooth frame rate. My one issue with Beat Saber was I found it visually very boring. Even with the addition of color, to me the same visual layout song after song just seemed lazy. Here, Audica improves on that, but only slightly, with a handful of different layouts and gun models that you can unlock in the campaign. These environments are all more detailed and epic than what is on offer in Beat Saber, but the static backdrop nature of them doesn't add much else outside of a little more variety. This greater variety in the core visuals also extends to the actual interactive rhythm objects coming at you, varying things up considerably with higher difficulties actually reaching a level of visual chaos that would even rival Amplitude at times. This variety, beyond offering up a multitude of gaming options, simply adds more visual variety not seen in Beat Saber. That being said, there's almost a zen-like vibe found in Beat Saber that is driven by its simplicity, so this really comes down to preference. For me though, I enjoyed the sci-fi aesthetic that runs throughout the game, giving the guns, environments, and menus a slick and polished look that make Audica feel like it came from a top-tier studio. Sound is up next. Being that Harmonix has made a career out of licensing some of the best music across many genres of music for their games, the expectations were high diving into the song selection here. Truthfully, I can't judge the quality of music here, as that is such a subjective opinion. However, whereas Beat Saber, for better or for worse, launched with all music being original and produced in-house, Harmonix has stayed more in line with their previous games by licensing music by popular artists across a multitude of genres. This not only has the outcome of songs being instantly recognizable when looking at the song selection list, but also offering a little more variety, with a slightly better selection of genres outside of the EDM category. Now unfortunately, my fellow metalheads, this does not mean you're going to be blasting in rhythm to Slayer's Rain and Blood, but you will find a slightly more electronic remix of Dragon Force's Through the Fire and Flames. All this being said though, I was actually still a little disappointed with the selection of music on offer, as I felt it was a little on the light side and contained a few too many filler type songs for my taste. Regardless, what is here works well in the mechanics of the game and makes for some interesting tone and tempo shifts. Music here in the game mix is expectedly well produced and blended nicely with the sound of the blasters without making them feel too intrusive. When shot, targets explode, setting a small explosion type sound effect, which has the result of kind of accenting the beat for which it was on. I personally enjoyed this, but it can be turned off in the menus, as can the game mechanic that lowers the song production quality, encouraging them to raise their game along with the song quality. All in all, Harmonix does a fine job here on the song side of things, but neither does it really impress either. And that brings us to gameplay. Given the reigning popularity of Beat Saber, Audica was undoubtedly going to be compared to it. However, while it sure does have its similarities with VR being a huge one, Audica is actually much more of a reimagining of their classic title Amplitude than it is a direct competitor to Beat Saber. Shooting versus chopping aside, Beat Saber is a game about mastering one specific task, where Audica takes a much more decidedly extreme approach to the genre. As you progress through the levels of difficulty, the game doesn't simply provide more targets and increase their frequency, it instead asks the player to learn multiple skills, often requiring the player to do them all at once. Simple target shooting is quickly made more interesting by adding in grappling and holding targets, as well as the need to physically punch orbs flying at the player. From here, target chains are introduced, quickly followed by the introduction of parallel shooting of targets, both vertical and horizontal. From here, the game greatly increases the speed while also adding in targets on the offbeats. The result is nothing like a lightsaber chop fest, and instead puts guns in our hands and asks us to pat our head, rub our stomach, jump on one foot, and sing the national anthem all at once. As such, I think Audica actually does a nice job of existing as a complementary game to Beat Saber, as jumping from one to the other actually felt like a nice change of flavor. Audica comes with 33 songs at launch, all with 4 levels of difficulty. Songs can be played individually with a multitude of options and modifiers to tweak and change the gameplay as they prefer, or tackled through a campaign mode that has the benefit of unlocking new environments and gun skins. In addition, gamers will find a party mode that allows for local tournament-style gameplay, with the headset being passed around your group. Finally, the more hardcore gamers will not only appreciate leaderboards, but also the ability to analyze your song performance in significant detail, tracking such things as aim, timing, spread, and average speed. Tracking in Audica is expectedly spot on, with guns having just enough of an aiming sweet spot to make target acquisition challenging, but never a chore. This can again be modified with different levels of auto-aim, as well as adjusted even further with the inclusion of a calibration tool for further tweaking any input lag. And for those wondering about custom song support, the answer is the same as Beat Saber, yes on the PC and Quest, and no on the PSVR. However, one nice feature that Audica does include is the ability for players to take an in-game song and custom map it to create a totally new take on a given song, a feature which is sure to appeal to the creative headsets, adding a nice bit of replay value. Audica requires the use of motion controllers and is recommended to be playing standing with a moderate amount of room. Without the need to duck and move away from oncoming walls like is seen in Beat Saber, Audica does lend itself more to seated play, but it can be a lot to handle without the freedom to move around. Finally, motion sickness should not be much of an issue here, as targets come flying at you as opposed to requiring any locomotion on your part. And finally, that brings us to Fun Factor and my final review. I know the question will be asked, which game is better, Audica or Beat Saber? And I honestly think it just comes down to preference of both the songs on offer and the style of which both games approach the music rhythm genre, as both titles are extremely polished and both offer a similar song count and modifier options. Personally, I enjoyed Audica's variety in gameplay and found the gun mechanics to be an interesting take on shooters. That being said, there's a satisfaction in Beat Saber's simple approach that is still so satisfying and simply not present in Audica. However, Audica approaches the genre from a different angle, offering something that will arguably attract the more hardcore rhythm gamers. As you guys know, I hate number ratings and instead rate games on the basis of buy it, burn it, or wait on it. Coming in at 33 songs, Audica is a fully featured, polished, and fun title that is not really a better game than Beat Saber, than it is a different game. If you like music rhythm games, and more importantly EDM music, this certainly is worth buying at this price, as you will find a good challenge here with a bit of a different flavor to Beat Saber and its clones. If music rhythm games aren't your thing, but you're still curious, I recommend waiting for a decent sale, as this game is certainly aimed at fans of the genre and simply not as universally approachable as chopping colored blocks with a lightsaber. Anyways guys, that's it for me. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more VR content from me, please consider subscribing. And for video updates, hit that bell icon. I'll catch you guys on my next video.